Our phone number, 913-586-7977. I'll go through the latest trends. I like to do that at night on the show. Take a look at the freshest mocks, the freshest 25 that were released. You have some big names, of course, in there. It's like, there's a place I go that has them all, like listed right there. So got them all. Like, what's the trend now? There's actually a player that's retrending now that wasn't necessarily before, kind of had slowed down on said player. But as I said, I think one person puts a name out, and then they all jump in. And it's weird how that name, keeps surfacing out there for the Kansas City Chiefs to get. So I'll get to that point in just a minute as well. But the Olympics, Julio, you watching any of this stuff? I mean, you watching what's going on?
I've caught a few things here and there, but I haven't tuned in as much as I probably should.
It's weird because if you watch a lot of it during the day, they show a lot of it, of course, at night because it's time difference, in Italy,
Yep.
where you're not seeing it live. I've enjoyed, the late night coverage because it's live then, on USA Network or whatever. They, you can see it live at that point. So I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, I haven't paid. I've caught some curling, caught some snowboarding, a couple other things, but
The curling looks like a lot of fun, man. Grabbing a couple of brews and going out
that's
to
what I'm saying.
curling.
It's the lazy man sport. I like it.
Yeah. I tell you, I really like the ski jumping, the bobsled. Those are kind of my favorites. We haven't seen the 4-man or 2-man bobsled yet.
Thought you were more of a figure skating guy.
No. That's no. I do enjoy the hockey though, and we've
Of course,
we've
yeah,
been treated to that
Yeah.
quite a bit. USA played this afternoon. Slow start, but then they came back and just started scoring everywhere. So it looked good. Team USA looked good in that. The Super Bowl this past weekend, we can finally close the 2025 season. The
Thank
Patriots, Patriots, they got through. They did what they had to do. It was a bad schedule. You got Jarrett Stidham in the AFC title game. Things were put out on a plate for you there, and you got there, which is weird because when you think about needs, I really hope I start seeing some Patriots draft picks for offensive line. That offensive line was so bad. They gave up 21 sacks. Drake May was sacked 21 times in the postseason. They went to the Super Bowl. First playoff game, sacked 5 times. Second playoff game, sacked 5 times. Third playoff game, sacked 5 times. Super Bowl, sacked 6. So I know Seattle's got a good defense, number 1 scoring defense, 6 overall. They're still 8th in sacks. It's not like they were 1 or 2. But with that offensive line being that bad, when Will Campbell, who probably played a little bit hurt.
Got exposed, though.
He did. He gave up 14 pressures in that game, the most that we've seen all year. But that shows your liabilities when your left tackle's out there playing like a matador.
We can relate to that. Can we not? That was kind of our issue last year. But that does show to their credit, those were some tough defenses they played in the playoffs. But that also shows how easy of a schedule they had, that they weren't exposed at all during the regular season.
I mean, that team on offense looked like crap.
Yeah.
That was the number 2.
Not pretty.
That was the number 2 scoring offense in the NFL this year. They were number 2. Seahawks are number 3.
When you play the easiest schedule in a decade.
Patriots averaged 28.8 points a game. Seahawks 28.4. That was the number 2 and the number 3 scoring offenses in the NFL, and that was clearly a defensive game, is what we saw. But obviously, Drake May, he had 4 interceptions in the postseason. He had 7 fumbles in the postseason. He lost 4 of them. But he was responsible, Julio. He was responsible for 11 turnovers in the postseason. Yeah. That is, 4 and 4, because I'm not counting the 3 that they actually got back. So 4 fumbles, 4 picks, so 8 turnovers he was responsible.
Not great. Not great. Not looking like the runner-up MVP so much in the playoffs, was he?
No, and you hear about their defense. The Patriots actually tied the Chiefs in sacks, 22nd in the NFL. They had 35. They were right there tied with the Chiefs. They got the Darnold. It's the old pressure stat. Like when they pressured the quarterback. Well, yeah, but did you bring him down? Because to me, that's the important thing. Did you bring him down, or did they escape the pressure and complete a pass 15 yards down the field? Mahomes is pressured all the time, but he gets out of said pressure and delivers the football.
Well, the pressure doesn't help so much when they're running the ball down your throat either. So,
But it made me miss the Chiefs. It was just weird. It was just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, but did you have?
I've got my whole adult life without the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and we always work during it anyway. But I missed them, literally. So I'm ready to start I'm ready to start this next journey, these next 3 months that are ultra important. I'll get to that in just a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely missed, right? I don't ever want to not be in the Super Bowl because we're spoiled here. But also, there was a certain little part of me that was a little happy that I could sit there and I can watch two teams battle it out and not have to crap my pants about what's going on.
I think that was the only solace of the whole event is the fact that, you didn't have a dog in the fight.
Yeah, there's something to say about that after the last few seasons.
I remember before the playoffs started, we talked about these teams that are all in it, AFC, NFC, who you going for? And I said, well, I'm really going for nobody, but I will pick the Seahawks, before the postseason started, because I said it's less of all evils.
Correct.
Because if Drake May wins it, it's going to be Drake May stuff all offseason and how great he is. If Sam Darnold wins it, more power to him for everything he's been through in his career. I don't see him getting another one at this point. I think both of them are posed for a lot of success. They're poised going for success to go forward. I'd give Seattle a little bit of a nod because I think the better quarterbacks reside in the AFC. I'd give them more of a chance, even though they're in the division with San Fran and with the Rams. But Stafford, coming back probably just this year, but what's the future hold for Stafford? Because when he goes and they have to groom another quarterback, who knows? And I'm not 100% sold on what San Francisco's doing with Brock Purdy. He looked good, but he got hurt. Then Mac Jones came in. That team was just lacking weapons on offense. They have Christian McCaffrey, and that was it.
Well, the defense was also so injured this year, like every year. I mean, this is not a new story. And also when it comes to the Rams, McVay, if there's one coach that's going to figure it out, McVay will figure it out. I'm not too concerned with. They'll stay competitive as long as McVay is their coach.
Yeah, text line pointing out the short arms of Will Campbell. That was his biggest knock coming out of the draft, is his short arms.
Yeah.
And, you look at some of these guys that, played the game and played left tackle. There was other issues besides that. There was other issues.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Are his arms an issue? Yeah, maybe, but it was more of his technique that seems to have been.
You try to overcompensate it, I think, sometimes when you have the shorter arms.
Yeah.
But yes, the shorter arms, and there is a reason why NFL teams do look at arm size. That's why the Kansas City Chiefs definitely do as well before they draft offensive linemen. We'll get to the NFL draft here in earnest. I want to address a few of these texts. Plus, I'm going to look at the real season for the Kansas City Chiefs because it begins now. We'll explain that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well,
I'll take this one.
what? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there.
It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Liberty Mutual customize this song for you. Like your car insurance, it's custom too, yeah. Liberty Mutual's got the coverage that could save you money. Thanks to Doug and Limu, well now you can go and take that cruise. Liberty, 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 yeah.
Football season is over, but there's still plenty to bet at Circa Sports. From pro and college basketball, hockey, and everything in between, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for futures on March hoops, props on your favorite players, and more, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Brian, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, and we've partnered with Cupid to bring you the best Valentine's Day gifts, even if you forgot. We won't tell. From heart necklaces with sparkling diamonds to stylish gold hoops, Every piece is made with love. Plus, there's still time to propose. We make it easy to create their dream engagement ring. We have meaningful gifts for every budget. It'll look like you've been planning this for months. Come see us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Kansas City, you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all your favorite shows right from your phone, computer, or tablet. Every day, we stream the shows live on YouTube, plus clips from the biggest moments and biggest guests. Hit that subscribe button so 96.5 The Fan goes right to the top of your feed. In your car, on your phone, or on your computer, we are everywhere. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back, 96.5 The Fan. Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez. We just turned Vern, the hot stove, 6 to 7. Pretty hot tonight, huh?
On fire.
Scorching.
That's
Scorching.
right.
I'm excited about baseball. I'm excited about it. Whenever you hear Vern, and he's been doing the hot stove here for a couple of weeks. What, about a month or so, at least?
About a month, yep.
He's been doing hot stove.
As long as the Chiefs have been on.
So whenever you hear
playoffs.
Vern, you think of baseball. So I'm looking forward to that. But yes, this text line talking about, yes, bad year for quarterbacks. It would happen to be when the Chiefs have the 9th pick, meaning.
Agreed.
If it's not they're going to get a quarterback. It's just that when quarterbacks are there, it brings you up further. If there was 3 quarterbacks to be selected before 9, all of a sudden you're picking 6th because you're picking the 6 best players available because everybody else is snagging a quarterback. And we only have Fernando Mendoza probably going before the Chiefs at number 9 and Dante Moore going back to Oregon. That changes things. That changes the options, changes the optics of what you need to get at pick 9. Have you decided which direction you want, Julio? Now, keep in mind, there's plenty of time to go because you haven't even seen the Combine yet. The Combine's in 2 weeks. Then you've got the legal tampering in the NFL, which is a la free agency, basically. But free agency technically starts March 11th. Then, of course, at the end of April, you've got the NFL draft. So, there's a lot of time to change your mind. A lot of time to change your mind on which player that you want. Would it be on the offensive side or defensive side at this point?
It's got to be It's got to be the defensive line. It's got to be defensive line.
That's what everybody.
At this point. But I don't know if the impact player that you're going to want is going to be there at 9.
That's the popular kind of picks for everybody. I'm still on team offense, to be honest with you. I'm still there.
Are you on the wide receiver train or on the running back train?
Receiver.
Okay.
Receiver, not running back.
I can do
it's
that.
not that I don't want edge. Edge second because you have to balance it. What is the better second tier of players? Is it the edge or is it wide receiver? And at this point, I think the tops of the wide receivers better than you can still get a second edge there in the second round, get running back in the third round. But it's still, I'm getting offense. I mean, we can be enamored by getting to the quarterback who I want. I mentioned, out of the top 10 teams in sacks this year in the NFL, only 5 of them made the playoffs. Only 50%. We had teams like the Saints in there, the Lions, all these teams didn't make the playoffs in the top 10 in sacks. Seahawks were 8th. New England was like 22nd. So, yeah, I think there's some – obviously getting to the quarterback is important. But defensively, this team was actually better than the offense this year.
Yeah, in an ideal world, I'd rather trade back into the mid-teens. That would be the ideal move. But
I get that you need because there's 30 free agents.
Yeah,
and you can't bring everybody back. So obviously the defense is going to take a hit. But total offense, this team was 20th. Running offense, 25th. Passing offense, 16th. Scoring offense, 21st. That's offense. Defense, total defense, they were 10th. Passing defense, 12th. Running defense, 9th. Scoring defense, 6th. They gave up the 6th fewest points per game in the NFL at 19 points a game. So, essentially, they were a top 10 defense in almost every category. And their offense didn't sniff top 10. So, yes, the offense was worse than the defense.
I hear what you're saying, but I think you also have to look at bang for buck, right? If you're looking for, I mean, it's not very often an impact defensive end or pass rusher is going to come available on the free agent market. When they are, the Chiefs already are in cap space hell, which again they can restructure and they can make room for it. But
they can make some cuts and get to $30 million.
Yeah. They can create the room if they want to. But the bang for buck wise, like the amount you're going to have to pay somebody on the defensive line or pass rusher, for that you could get another mid-tier, two mid-tier wide receivers to make a bigger impact than spending an extra amount of money on a pass rusher that's not going to have that much of an impact.
I get that. I don't want buyer's remorse. I don't want buyer's remorse.
Yeah, I
when
know.
Patrick Mahomes
know.
retires and you look back and said, we kept drafting him edges. We brought in Felix. We went and got him another edge in the top 10. And we didn't
spent a lot of capital on it.
We didn't get him weapons. We didn't get him weapons. Because my theory is this. With average quarterbacks, like a Darnold, a C.J. Stroud, with guys like that, you build up a great defense. Like if you have a quarterback that you don't trust to win a game for you, you build up the defense. But on the flip side, if you have a quarterback that can win games, you supply him with talent. You give him the tools necessary to do it. What's the strength of your team? It's the quarterback. He's the best player on this team. 100%. They'll never see another quarterback like this in Kansas City. So you give him the weapons to succeed. Now, if it was still Alex Smith, you build up the defense. When it's Patrick Mahomes, you get him some weapons for offense. Not saying ignore the defense at all. Matter of fact, we did a mock draft, and we had primarily defensive players that we drafted for the Kansas City Chiefs. But we went offensive talent in the beginning for Patrick Mahomes. Because let's not forget, Rashee Rice, if you do not bring him back for an extension, even though I think it'd be cheaper at this point, considering everything that's gone on, this is last year. And then you just have Worthy under contract after this.
I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but it's not like the Chiefs haven't used draft capital, some high draft capital, to try and shore up some of the offensive side of the ball. It hasn't worked out, right? We're talking about a Sky Moore.
Yeah, we're
talking about a
Rashee
Rice, right? We're talking about a Xavier Worth. They've spent some second-round picks on wide receivers. They just haven't panned out. So are you going to now trust them to use a first-round pick on a wide receiver?
That's why this draft is so big, because you're top 10. Last time you drafted the top 10, you got Patrick Mahomes.
Not to mention, you also have, I mean, again, that defensive line, you have an aging Chris Jones. You have to get someone in there. I mean, Karlaftis is a good player, but how big of an impact is he going to? Do we foresee him making next year? Do we see him making a big jump?
It's what happens when you constantly draft at the end of the first round.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
This is the stuff that happens with that situation. That's why it's so imperative here with the top 10 pick to get it right.
There's also some questionable contracts for non-primary positions that they've signed that maybe they shouldn't have.
And as far as free agents, like here's the deal with receiver. Like if you don't draft the receiver, I always feel you should draft the receiver because it's cheaper. Because if not, you end up with an Alec Pierce from the Colts and spending $25 million a year. I mean, the going rate for good receivers, $25-30 million a year, instead of just drafting one, which is the end-all, be-all best solution. And as far as running backs, now, if you go out $3.5 to $5 million getting a Tyler Algier or something like that, throw them in the running back rooms, you draft a running back like an Emmett Johnson, say, in the third round.
That's where I'm at.
You do it that way.
Yeah.
But if you go out and spend on Breece Hall, then obviously you don't need a running back. That's why the free agency period is so big for the Chiefs, which direction they go. That's why these 3 months, They'll decide. When you look at the Chiefs in September, October, December, November, when you're looking at the Chiefs next year, it's not about that trade deadline to move. Like this year was Brees Hall, who wouldn't have made a difference in this team making the playoffs. He would have been good, but he had to learn the offense and everything else. Just trade deadline deals don't always work out. You really build your team in March and in April, and you start the process in February with the Shrine Bowl, the Senior Bowl. Then you go into the Combine. Then you have legal tampering, free agency. You build that. Then you have the draft in April. That's when you build your teams. These 3 months, like from here until May, this decides the 2026 Chiefs.
No, and
100%.
I will say that they haven't, along with picking at the back end of every round, they also haven't had a lot of time to scout the way that they've had a few extra weeks right now to focus on the draft. So I'm hoping that's gonna be beneficial to them. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. And 913, I get it. JSN was with the Seahawks. He was the NFL's leading receiver by yardage, so it's not like they didn't have a target. And they turn around, hand off to Kenneth Walker. He had over 1,000 yards. Charbonnet got hurt there at the end. He had over 700 yards. So they did have offensive weapons.
They had a balanced offense.
And as I mentioned, they were the third highest scoring team in the NFL. So, yes, and I know, text line, wide receiver 1 for the Seahawks made such a huge impact. He didn't. JSN didn't make an impact.
Not in the Super Bowl.
But here's the thing. But you got to get to the Super Bowl, right? You got to get to that point. You got to have the record. You got to beat teams. Now, here's the thing, texter that likes texting this in. Go back and look at how good the Seahawks defense was against the Rams in the NFC title game. Because they weren't. JSN was their best target.
He was a beast.
He had 10 for 153 and a touchdown. They don't make the Super Bowl without him. Yes, they got it, and they didn't exactly need him in the Super Bowl. I get that, but you got to get there first. Like, you got to get there. That defense for the Rams, it was bad. Denver's had a good defense all year. It was not good against the Bills. They did anything they wanted to on that team whatsoever. They never punted once. The only time they never got the ball is because they kept turning it over. But go look at the Rams game. Go look at the Rams game and the Seattle Seahawks, and look at what happened. Look at the story. Well, Stafford, they got to him one time. Stafford threw for 374 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That was the real Super Bowl.
He threw for 374 and 3 touchdowns in that game. So that defense of Seattle, yeah, they look good against that Patriots offense that never scored over 21 points in the postseason. Never did. And Drake May was sacked 21 times. It wasn't just Seattle getting to him. Everybody was getting to him. Matter of fact, you look at the total yards, the Rams had 479 yards. They were close to 500 yards of offense against that vaunted Seattle Seahawks defense. So which Seahawks defense are we talking about? The one in the Super Bowl or the one in the NFC title game?
But to be
fair,
the
NFC title game, they weren't good.
To be fair, you're talking about conference foes. Like, they know each other so well. I mean, typically, and I don't have the exact statistics, but the first time teams go up against that Seattle defense, they struggle. Yeah. I mean, it's a different ballgame when you're talking a rivalry like that with conference foes versus a team that's just coming in and has never seen the Seattle defense before.
And I have a lot of friends and stuff that'll text that want defensive players. Like, that's all they want. They want defensive edges, and they want defensive line. They want defensive help. And I was like, okay. But just remember, lose my number week 4, week 5, when the Chiefs have nobody to throw to, everybody's hurt, they're not playing, and Mahomes has nobody to throw to. Don't say, man, we need a receiver. Because you know what? They've thrown a dart at one receiver. Sky Moore was 1 dart. Rasheed Rice was 1 dart. Jalen Royals this past year was 1 dart. And he couldn't even get on the field. And that's what the receiver suspended for 6 games. And another receiver hurt for 3 games after play 3 in Brazil on Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, but you know what would have helped the receiving game this year is any semblance of a running game whatsoever. The fact that teams knew every time there was an RPO, they were going to throw the ball.
100%.
Like, I mean,
you've got to get the running game
going.
That's why the top
balance,
3 picks
man.
should be an edge, should be a running back, and should be a wide receiver.
In an ideal world, yes.
In an ideal world, in a receiver, because you get the 5th-year option, which is huge because you get that 5th year and you're not worried about the $25 to $30 million thrown to them. But you got to be able to score points. As I mentioned, the Chiefs were bad on offense last year. They were bad in scoring offense.
Ugly. Yeah.
Defensively, they were 6th in points against. They stopped people, but they couldn't score. And it proved that offense was so bad they couldn't move the football on the ground. They kept dropping the football. They couldn't beat man coverage. The offense was bad.
Well,
and you're not always going to have a Patrick Mahomes. That's a luxury that Kansas City has. We went decades without having a good quarterback in this town. You got one now, and everybody wants to give defense. And the Reuben Bain stuff, like the Reuben Bain, the defensive, the rush-in for Miami, who didn't even lead that team in sacks, by the way. It was Akeem Mesidor. They're going to have 2 edges drafted in the first round. It's always a little bit worrisome when you draft one of those. Because the guy on the other side is also a first-round pick, so you got to worry about it. And nobody's been able to explain this to me. That wants Reuben Bain. Go look at his game logs. Weeks 3 through 10, he had half a sack. He went stretches without getting a sack in the season. So I know that everybody pins it on, you don't like his short arms and stuff like that. And I say, well, yeah, the arms are a concern. The short arms are a concern, but we don't officially know what they are because he hasn't officially been measured. So that's kind of, hearsay is how good Reuben Bain, what his arm length is, because we don't know officially, which isn't fair to him.
Nick. I'm not going to lie. If he's there at 9, you don't not draft him.
Which isn't fair.
Let's just be honest.
But, okay, week 3, no sacks. Week 4, half a sack. Week 5, none. Week 6, none. Week 7, none. Week 8, none. Week 9, 1. Week 10, 0. He went on a large stretch of time there without registering for a sack. And that's with an over-aggressive defensive line with another first-round pick on it. I just want to know.
How do you do when it mattered most?
What I don't want to know is, Reuben Bain goes out and has a great game against the Broncos, right? And then disappears for 3 weeks. And everybody throughout the week calls in and says, man, I wish Bain would show up every game. It's great he shows up some games. That's my only concern, is you went stretches of time without doing a damn thing.
Yeah.
That concerns me more than the short arms. Production.
But this is why there's very few Myles Garretts, right? So you're drafting on potential. And does his upside, if you can get the most out of him, will he be elite?
If he measures where we think he will, his arms are a half foot shorter than Myles Garrett.
Yeah. I mean, there's only one Myles Garrett, but can he get double-digit sacks every year? I'll take it.
We'll see.
Then he's worth it.
Well, we'll see. I do like him, but I do have the consensus of what people like in Reuben Bain or not, and which edge do they like. There's one name that showed up, and I was shocked. It was a name that typically been in the second round, but he shows up in the first round. I'll explain that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on the action because you can make entries and win money right now in Missouri. Playing an Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Plus, get your entries right, and you can win up to 5,000 times your cash. Over at Underdog, it's so easy between drafts and ladders and streaks, pick'ems and champions. So many different ways to make entries and have fun over on Underdog. So download the app today and use promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms. _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Heartland Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Heartland Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Welcome back, Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez. Yeah, I love the textures. They said they wanted to spell moron, but they put maroon. You're such a maroon.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's applicable as well, you know? It works as well.
It works.
Not sure they meant to do that, but, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the guy that mock drafted Patrick Mahomes every time to Kansas City when the rest of the media wanted Deshaun Watson. And so did a lot of people. They didn't really want Patrick Mahomes. So, yeah, get everything wrong. Get everything wrong.
You can always play that card, Bank. Always play that card.
I always will, because I
like
get a lot of crap for other picks that didn't work out.
I like it.
Regardless, Julio, and someone had asked me what scoring defenses were the Chiefs, the top scoring defense, not to make the playoffs. They were. The number one, the top scoring defense in the NFL this year was Seahawks, won it. Houston, number 2, was in it. Denver was in it. Number 3, New England, Super Bowl, they were in it. Philadelphia was in it. Chiefs at 6th. Vikings not in it. Jags, yes. Chargers, yes. Rams, yes. And then if you go beyond the top 10, the Packers and the Bills. So, yes, the Chiefs were the only top 10 scoring defense that was in the playoffs.
Scoring defense. But I will say, I think that was part of the issue this year, too, is while they were a good defense, they were not the elite defense they had been the past few years.
Oh, they had a problem on third downs.
Right.
No question about that.
There were some big holes there.
They couldn't stop anybody on third down, but believe it or not, they did lead the NFL in fourth down conversions on offense and fourth down stops on defense. That's the weirdest thing about it.
That's something.
Well, they did. It was like over 20 times they stopped teams from getting a first down, which is the recipe you want because it puts Mahomes back on the field more. But when the offense gets great field position because the defense gave it to them because they turned the ball over on fourth down, they weren't scoring because they didn't have anybody to do anything on offense. You're relying on Tyquan Thornton.
What's that? The stat? I love it that Kareem Hunt had a better percentage rate fourth down than the tush push.
He was great. He was great. Like they really, really needed him. He was very important to this team. He was very important. Very important. So we look at the top 25 mocks all the time, Julio. We're doing the character concerns with Uno Cero. He did it that one time that I've been doing them for the shows, just kind of see the direction people are wanting. And we've done this in 13 of 25 has been a lot of Jeremiah Love. Like he's been as high as 13 out of 25. And then we did just top 15 because there wasn't as many mocks that came out between Friday and Sunday. And there was 4 Jeremiah Love out of 15. So it went down. But of course, you know what happens when a guy like, Field Yates, because ESPN's doing another draft show now. It's a live draft show. It's really good. Mel Kiper's on it. Matt Miller's on it. Field Yates is on it. He hosts it. And they're doing a draft show all the way through the draft. It's an hour programming. It's pretty good. Like, it's pretty good stuff. And, of course, Field has the Chiefs going Jeremiah Love. Yeah. So whenever somebody like Field Yates goes Jeremiah Love, guess what? You'll see a lot of Jeremiah Loves in the mocks. And it works that way because of the top 25, the freshest 25 mocks from everywhere. From ESPN, NFL.com, you name it. Grab them. It doesn't matter. USA Today, CBS, all of them. 14 running backs, and they were Jeremiah Love. That was every single one of the running back picks. 14 out of 25 was Jeremiah Love. Wide receivers, only 3. 2 Carnell Tates and 1 Jordan Tyson. Todd McShay went Carnell Tate. Todd McShay is one of the most accurate mock drafters that we have. Believe it or not, McShay is really good on that. Safety was 2, so Caleb Downs got 2 out of the 25. 1 corner out of the top 25. Only 3 edges. Only 3 edges.
They're all gone. That's why.
2 offensive tackles, including Caden Proctor from Alabama, which Chad Ryder had him from NFL.com.
Punch me in the face if we do that right now. Just punch me in the face.
But he normally goes outside the box because Caden Proctor's been kind of the end of the first round type guy. I mean, seeing him as high as where the Chiefs got him, that was, definitely eye-opening. And as far as the edges, there was 1 David Bailey, 1 Reuben Bay, because usually Reuben Bain's been here a lot more.
Yeah.
At least 4 to 5 times you've seen Reuben in there. But he was once. And the other one, Zion Young from Missouri. We had him mocked to the second round, pick 40 to the Chiefs, but having that great Senior Bowl week that he had,
high.
He played in the Senior Bowl, got the fumble recovery. Zion Young, he was creeping into the first round, but we saw some Zion Young.
Into the top 10? That's insane.
We saw him the top 10.
That's insane. The Jeremiah Love take, I think, is just, at this point, it's just lazy. I think it's not really knowing the Chiefs' needs. And
it was draft countdown.
That's just, for me, that's just too.
I like Zion a lot. I like Zion a lot.
Yeah, but do you like him in the top 10?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Sitting at 40, yes. Get a guy like Moore.
Yeah.
Sitting there with maybe Zion. Keldrick Falk was a name. Saw a lot last week. He's the Auburn edge rusher.
Yep.
Started to see him more and more in mocks. Caleb Banks.
Yeah.
Because of the Senior Bowl week he had. Started seeing a lot more Caleb Banks. Actually saw him in 3 of the 25. Talking about Caleb Banks, defensive tackle for Florida.
Yeah.
Dude's a stud. The only problem with Caleb is he played 3 games this year. He played 3 games. And Jordan Tyson's an alluring wide receiver. He's got the size, he's got the ability, but availability has been a real problem for Jordan Tyson. He is hurt all the time.
Well, and he doesn't fit the stereotypical Andy Reid wide receiver, which we need to get away from, in my opinion, but that's just me.
Yeah, but sometimes one of the things I always is availability. Availability matters, man. It just does. Availability matters so much to these players. For instance, with Jordan Tyson, here's his 4 years. He played 4 years in college. 9 games, 3, 12, and then 9. He had a lot of injuries.
Good, man.
He had a lot of injuries that mounted up. And you need availability. You do. I'm sorry. You need guys that are going to play because that is the ultimate thing that matters in the NFL. How many games are you going to play? Darren Peterson at KU, they have that issue. You need your
Don't
stars.
Get me started on that.
Well, no, but you
Don't
need
get me started on that.
But you need your stars to play, right?
That's correct.
I mean, yeah, it's great having a Darren Peterson on your team, but if he's not playing, it doesn't help you.
No. Many times it hurts you, but
it does. Well, only got through a little bit of this, but 913-586-7965. Just want to know what direction you want to go in as we look at the draft. Pretty much every show. So we'll take a look at the draft and where people are going. We'll do more of that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com.
That's rexbuyskc.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Have you been diagnosed with head or neck cancer? At Kansas City Proton Institute, we're delivering the future of cancer care with state-of-the-art proton therapy right here in KC. Proton therapy means increased precision, reducing side effects like dry mouth, difficulty swallowing, and the loss of taste as compared to conventional radiation. If you've been diagnosed, don't wait. Get your second opinion today and see KC's largest, most experienced proton therapy team. Visit kcpi.com. Kansas City Proton Institute, where you see the best in KC.
Hey, it's almost Andy Reid. Who knew dressing up for a Halloween ball would change my life forever? Now I get to celebrate with the best fans and everything Kansas City. Oh, yeah! My journey also led me to Renner Garage Door, Casey's go-to team for garage door repair, replacement, and service since 1956. Renner features an MVP lineup from Deldon, Amar, and Liftmaster.
R-E-N-N-E-R, R-E-N-N-E-R.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
When it's time to replace your appliances, Lowe's has you covered. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. And members get more like free delivery, haul away, basic installation and parts, and a 2-year Lowe's protection plan when you spend $2,500 or more on select major appliances. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 2/25 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Massachusetts, Maryland, Wisconsin, New Jersey, Florida. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowes.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back, 96.5. Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez, and you, 913-586-7965. That's the difficult part, Julio, as we were talking during the break. Do you want to trade back, get in these early 20s? Because GMs will not have grades, first-round grades on all 32 teams. There will be a single GM this year in the NFL that has 32 first-round grades on NFL talent. They'll be somewhere between probably 13 to 18. Guys, it's typical, man. It's typically what they have for first-round grades on players. So essentially, once you get through them, you're dealing with basically a bunch of second-rounders at that point. And there's no givens. There's absolutely no givens in the first round. I mean, it is a total and complete crapshoot. We've seen number one overall picks be bust. I mean, that's the problem with the NFL draft is guys can be more bust than anything. You think they're great, but then they're not good. You might think, all right, Jeremiah Love, the only first-round running back to go. He probably will be the only running back in the first round this year. It could be a situation where the second or third rounder will be better. It could be Katron Allen could be better. Emma Johnson, could be better, at that point. And you can get them. And getting a first-round running back is not always the end-all, be-all. As I mentioned, the top 10 rushers in the NFL this year, only 4 of the 10 were first-round picks. 6 weren't.
Yep.
Only 4 of the 10 made the postseason. 6 didn't. So it is a crapshoot when you go for running back. But if you have a good running back room, if your drafted rookie's not doing well, and Tyler Algier is running well for you, or Brashard finds new life, having DeMarco Murray, which, by the way, is his new running backs coach, coming over from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It's outside the box hire. It's somebody not from the system.
I like it. Everyone wanted someone from outside of the organization.
He's a tough, hard-nosed coach. It's something they need, something they do need.
I like it. No,
and that's one thing about EB that is actually good is there is accountability with him. It's going to be tough. I mean, they're going to be hard on the running backs, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
They're terrible
for the
last
Chiefs.
year. They should be.
Because one thing when you come over and you fumble and you got EB to look at, or now DeMarco Murray.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that. You're not going to want that.
Or even a wide receiver that keeps dropping the football and you're dealing with EB.
You're not going to want that smoke.
You come over. You're not going to want that at all.
Yeah.
So it just depends. But there are so many busts. That's what's a good thing about the draft. But if you trade back, as we were talking about, it kind of defeats the purpose, right? Like you were Chris Oladikin bad to get the 9th pick. And you get there.
They worked very hard to get the 9th pick.
Yeah, they did. They worked really hard to get that 9th pick. Then all of a sudden you trade it back and you're in the 20s. You're like, oh, man. We're usually around here anyway.
I think this draft, too, is even more difficult, again, because there's not that stable of incoming quarterbacks that would absorb some of those first few picks. So that, again, with basically one quarterback going in the first round, now, again, here
you'll
goes
see
all
more in the
top,
first round.
Right.
It's just not in the top 10.
Right, which takes away from what the Chiefs were trying to do. So, which is why I say it's okay if they can get something. I don't know, again, that I'd want to fall back to the early 20s, mid-20s, something like that. If we can get the mid-teens, that would certainly be more ideal. But I would also say it depends on what else you're getting. If you're getting another second round or a third round pick, it might be beneficial. I'd take that. I'd take that, quite honestly, for the slip in talent from
because there's not very
the
many
9th pick
picks,
to the
so
mid. Yeah.
They've got to find a way to get more.
They've only got 6 picks. I mean, they need.
They've got to find a way to
the
get more
amount
picks.
of the amount of talent that they need, and the amount of free agents that will be leaving. They need as many picks as possible.
And you know what? It's not just for this year either. You want as much as you can get for next year.
Yeah.
Because 2027 draft is ridiculously talented.
I wish that's where we're picking 9th at.
I do too. Well, I'd rather have a good year than not. But
Eric
yes,
Fisher all over.
You want to
again.
load up on 27. It's a good draft, and the draft has changed though. Trinidad Chambliss, he gets his 6th year.
That's ridiculous, man.
He got a 6th year today. That was the court order there for Trinidad Chambliss. He's now going to get another year. Austin Simmons, who was the starter at Ole Miss, is now the quarterback at the University of Missouri, so it's going to be fun to watch. And Trinidad will be way up there on the Heisman odds now that he's coming back. But the point being, so many guys Dante Moored this. Like, so many guys could be draft eligible, and they're going back. To the tune of, I think, 63 underclassmen are going to the NFL draft, and we had 130 back in 2021. So we've dropped about 54% of guys that were underclassmen eligible for the NFL draft now taking name, image, and likeness, going back to where they played and making money. Because then they have the end-all, be-all discussion. Well, if I'm going to be a third-round pick, I could make more money at said university than being, quote, a third-round pick. The one that really doesn't make sense is a Dante Moore. Because I don't care what Oregon pays him, they're not going to pay him what he could have made. For the second pick in the NFL draft.
Are you kidding me? That makes 100%. That was the smartest decision he probably ever made. Would you want to get drafted by the Jets?
Well, no,
and ruin your career.
But the chances are,
would you want that?
But the chances are next year the Jets are going to be right there too.
I mean, I will take my chances though, because you're guaranteed to get drafted by the Jets this year. At least next year, maybe you have the potential of not getting drafted by the Jets.
For $54 million guaranteed.
I'd take my chances, man. I don't blame him.
Come on, Jets! $54 million guaranteed. They can change a lot of people's minds.
I hope he does get drafted by the Jets next year. I hope karma does get him, because it kind of screwed the Chiefs over this year. But I can't blame him for making that. It was a smart move.
Trent McDuffie was taken with the 21st pick. They traded up to get him because he started aside. But he was one of those guys that had, quote, that first-round grade. Like the Chiefs evaluated Trent McDuffie and they said, we think we give him a first-round grade. We gave him one of the 18 picks. We're giving a first-round grade. Trent McDuffie's one of them. Then all of a sudden he starts sliding a little bit. And you're like, okay, we got to figure out a way to get it. Because Buffalo wanted Brandon Beane and stuff, wanted to go up and get him as well. But the Chiefs were able to go up and get Trent McDuffie because that is a guy that they earmarked and said, we're putting a first-round grade on him. So now one of our first-round grades is slipping in the 20s. We got to find a way to do it. Last year, they really liked Noah Williams. They traded a 4th that they got for Tooney to move up to the third to get Noah Williams, which
just to not play him last year.
But you know what? No, yeah, exactly.
I digress.
But he looks like a really good player. That looks like a really.
He does.
That was my favorite
Still
pick.
played him more.
That was my favorite pick in this year's draft class when we brought his coach on, Noah Williams, which is funny because Cal fired their head coach, right? And Jaden Ott's been in discussion because he was with DeMarco Murray at Oklahoma. He was the fourth-string running back at Oklahoma. But he had a really good Senior Bowl week, right, Jaden Ott? And he scored a touchdown in the Senior Bowl. But he wasn't invited to the combine. Like, Jaden Ott wasn't invited. But he was a Cal. He had over 1,000 yards one year at Cal. So not only did they lose him, they lost Mendoza, and they lost Jack Indries, the tight end at Texas, who's going to be drafted probably in the top 4 rounds. So you lose a quarterback, your best tight end, and a running back. That's all what Cal lost. So no wonder they're going to fire their coach.
Yeah,
but that's nil, man.
That's where we're at in the right in the college atmosphere right now.
But yeah, Jack Indries, one of those guys. I mean, they were low. Jaden Ott was part of that group too. I like Jaden, but he's probably going to be an undrafted guy. I mean, he's got potential. He's got flash, but that can't be your running back. That can't be the guy.
Yeah, no.
And he may end up having a very good
top
NFL
3
career.
rounds. You have to draft a running back in the top 3 rounds.
Yeah, I don't think you can Pacheco this one.
Depends on what they do in free agency. Right? I think we'll kind of know which direction they go based on what they do in free agency here with the running back position. But man, if you just sign a single veteran free agent running back, you have to draft him in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah. 913, Bink leaning on the fact he had Mahomes mocked to the Chiefs. Blind squirrel finds a nut, right?
He's taking shots at you.
It's
taking shots.
It's been more than Mahomes. It's been more than Patrick Mahomes, my friend. Because here's the deal. You see all these mock drafts that come out now? Chris and I, on character concerns, we don't just start doing it before the draft. We actually do it all season. There's nobody that watches more college football than Chris and I. Because every week we do that podcast, we say, watch this prospect, this schemes he's going into, this is who you need to watch. We don't just do it in February. We do this thing in June, in July, in August, in September, in October, in November. We watch these players. Going to be wrong? Yeah, 100% we are. But you know what? NFL GMs are wrong all the time. All the time. They're paid a lot of money, and they're wrong all the time.
Did you mock Felix?
No. We didn't have him. But, here's the deal. When people come down on Brett Veach and stuff like this, and, last 5 years, the second most amount of draft picks on a roster is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've been to 3 straight Super
brilliant
Bowls.
on the second half of the draft.
3 of the last 4.
It's the first few rounds that they've struggled with.
Yeah. So we'll see. 913-586-7965 is the phone number. Should they maybe trade Trey McDuffie, Matt Verderam from Sports Illustrated to join Carrington Harrison? Bring you some of that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from
we can be twinsies
to
how was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom.
Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? You need Jay's Southland Tow Service. They have 20 years of experience and service the KC metro area. They specialize in light, medium, and heavy duty, also in commercial transport and construction equipment. Keep this number handy, 816-779-4TOW, or go to southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments, Jay's Southland Tow. know. There's nothing they can't do. So be in the know and use Jay's Southland Tow.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements, more energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-948-7878. That's 800-948-7878.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch all your favorite shows. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back, 96.5, Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez. So what'd you end up eating for Super Bowl Sunday?
We had some Jimmy John's subs, and what did we have? Some queso. You always got to have some queso.
Like you ordered sandwiches, or did you have stuff catered?
We made we bought the bread and then kind of made our own subs.
Nice.
And then
no wings. You make any wings?
No. I made my my famous guac.
Nice.
So that was good. And that's about it. Went simple this year.
Do you ever listen to the Super Bowl radio interviews for guys peddling avocados? And like you find out who the best avocados are?
No, it would be Haas avocados, but that's my opinion.
Is that the best avocado?
That's the ones I like. That's correct.
I make fun of it. A lot of the Radio Rows, like they will peddle avocado. The Radio Row interviews crack me up because they're so.
Everyone's always pushing something.
Oh yeah, they're always pushing. As people are walking around, Radio Row, and they're talking about their whatever they're promoting. We had Dave Craig on one time a long time ago. It was one of the Super Bowls in New York, and he was in there, and I was excited about it because, he sacked 7 times by Derek Thomas. I thought Dave and he played for the Chiefs, eventually too, but he's with Seattle when he was sacked, and I wanted to talk about that game. I'm going to talk about DT, and, everywhere you look, DT was right there going to sack you. But he was talking about his event the whole time, and he really didn't fancy talking about something else, which
look, you
I was done at that.
7 times in a game. You probably wouldn't want to talk about it either. Maybe you forgot because you got hit so many times.
I was like, okay. There's only one guy that I felt did great interviews is Emmitt Smith. And I can bring some of that when he talks about what an elite quarterback is and what isn't. But he was great when Emmitt Smith. He went out and let things fly, man. I love that. It's hard to even see what he was peddling because, yes, he had an endorsement he was doing or something, but it's hard to tell because he gave you info. He gave you great info on what he was talking about, and it was great stuff. Matt Verderam, that joins Carrington Harrison quite a bit in other shows too. Matt works for Sports Illustrated, but he was on with Carrington today, and he was asked, would he trade McDuffie and keep Cook and Watson? Here's what Matt said about that.
For the amount of money it's going to take to sign Trent McDuffie on an annual basis, you probably can get both Watson and Cook done, and you're probably not paying as much in guaranteed money. Like, let's live in a world where Cook gets 12 a year. Okay, so Cook gets 3 and 36. And let's say Watson gets 16 a year, 3 and 48. Okay, so now you're paying those two guys, what, it's $84 million? McDuffie's getting more than that. McDuffie's probably getting, what, 4 and 100? 4 and 110? Like, he's a 2-time All-Pro. He's in the prime of his career. He's got versatility. He's a Super Bowl champion 2 times over. I think I was getting paid a fortune. You know, and I don't care. The Chiefs can argue all day long. Well, he's a slot guy. They're not going to care. He's going to want top dollar. He should want top dollar. And if I'm the Chiefs, the problem is, to my understanding of this, look, McDuffie's a great teammate, great guy from all accounts. I think McDuffie would prefer to play outside. And he's not as good outside. I mean, he's still a terrific corner, but he's not, like, is he demonstrably better outside than Jalen Watson is? I don't know. I mean, not like a huge gap. Whereas he is the best slot corner in football by a wide margin when he's in there. If he doesn't want to play inside, if I'm the Chiefs, I trade him. I think you can get a first-round pick for him. And I would turn around and spend that money on Watson. I'd spend it on Cook. And now I've got 2 first-rounders.
I'll tell you, Julio, that was Matt Verder on there. I agree.
First-rounder?
I don't think that part I don't agree with. I don't think you can get a first rounder for Trent McDuffie. After all, the guy was the 21st pick in the draft. And the one thing the Chiefs are going to run into is guys have rings now, because it takes out that whole, I'm going to go play somewhere and chase the ring. Whenever you have multiple rings, you've already done that. You know what I'm saying? So now you can now you go out and get the payday when different guys may want to go somewhere where they can win a ring. Look at Stephon Diggs. He's still searching for that ring. He's still searching where we can go to get that ring. That's how bad the guy wants it. But you find guys that have played in the league a long time saying, you know, hey, if I go play in KC, I want a ring. But the guys that already have one, that's always tough, because you can't always sell, hey, come play for the Chiefs, come play for Mahomes, you can win another ring. It's like Terrell Suggs. Yes, Chiefs grabbed him on waivers. He came here, but he already had a ring before that. So, yes, there's some value to that as far as hoping the Chiefs get that ring. So there's value to that, but you can't play that card all the time that, hey, we can get you into the Super Bowl, we can get you a ring when you're wearing a couple of them.
Yeah, for me, I think once you sign Trey Smith to that contract, I think it was when you were either going to do a Trey Smith or you were going to do him. I don't know how they signed him to a contract.
Well,
again, he deserves top of the market. That's what he's going to get. And the Chiefs, again, with where they're at in the cap space, they can make the room for it. But do they want to dedicate that to? They're known. I mean, they've done such a good job of developing secondary players. Why?
That's been their
jam.
That's
their strength.
It's been their jam.
Why just rely on that? Continue to rely on that. Maybe spend another 3rd round pick or something like that. Third,
really
4th round pick, and try and develop someone else, and like you said, sign the 2 other players.
And I think Veach listens to Dave Merritt. He listens to Spags. Who do you like? You know, here's a list of 10 to 15 guys.
Can we absorb this hit? Yeah.
Do you like these said players? Do you like these players? Because obviously there's some consulting that goes around with the different coaches on the staff. I mean, Andy Reid gets his list. He doesn't have personnel decisions, but he'll definitely let you know who he likes and who he doesn't like, right? So look at the L'Jarius Sneed. That was the guy they wanted. It's a guy they went out and got in the 4th round. Noah Williams was a guy they really valued, and that's when they had a chance to jump up and get him. They did. Trent McDuffie was a guy that they really liked, and they hopped up to 21 to get him.
Maybe they'll get L'Jarius Sneed back this year.
Yeah, I don't think you want that.
No.
enough with the dudes coming back, man. Enough with the dudes coming back. Yeah, run it back. But enough with the dudes coming back. But go a different direction. But that's one selling point you can't always use now. Hey, come here and win a ring. Now, certain guys you'd want to, like Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen's a guy I would have taken thrown a dart out last year. I mean, this wasn't buyer's remorse either. Back in May when he was just sitting out there. He actually stayed out there right until training camp with the Chargers. Like, see if Keenan wants to play, man. This team's going to need a receiver.
Because I was with you on that one, man.
They're going to need somebody.
I hated that.
And you know what? He would have played a lot more, too. So it wasn't just coming in here and you're only going to play when Rashee Rice was out. Now, he would have been a staple in this offense. He would have still been a part of what they were doing that they wouldn't have had to overpay for. And it's a guy they could promise, a ring to. A ring to that maybe they can go get. If you've been to 3 straight, odds are in your favor. The season didn't go the way they wanted, clearly, but the odds are in their favor. When you've gone to 5 of the last 6, now 5 of the last 7, you have pretty good odds to get back to the Super Bowl. Matt Verderame also talked, speaking of bringing guys back, he talked about Tyreek Hill.
The one that is fascinating for obvious reasons is Tyreek Hill. Because that is one time, a lot of times, we have these discussions, but like realistically, you're really going to go get that guy. It's almost more like fan fiction than it is like actual reality. This one is actually really interesting because on one hand, look, he's, I believe, age 32 season, is coming off of a really bad injury. On the other hand, he has been wildly productive. It's not like he's fallen off. He has still been awesome. And I think everyone would agree, right? If he can go back to Kansas City, he's going back to Kansas City. I mean, he's basically been flirting with the Chiefs for a year now on social media day and night. Like I can't imagine the Chiefs offering him a contract and him just being like, no, I'm all right, I'm good. So the question becomes, if you're the Chiefs, do you take that risk of, hey, he is coming off a major lower body injury, and he might just be done. Like, we don't know. But if he's not, and he comes back and he's 90% of what he's been, that guy still somebody who might have 1,200 yards at 90%. So if I'm the Chiefs, I feel confident in him health-wise. That would be a very, very hard thing to turn down.
I think you can, because we don't know the condition that he's going to be in. And I'll say this too: what's been one of the big problems with the Chiefs? Dropped, right? That year where Tyreek Hill made that run towards 2,000 yards, he was top 3 in the NFL in drops. So that's been a big problem. Get a guy that can catch the football. Text line here says that Andy Reid is a throwaway pick to get a rookie wide receiver. It's a throwaway pick with Andy Reid.
He's not wrong.
History would tell you that's kind of the odds, but I will say this. You are wrong, because Rashee Rice's rookie year was number 2 in the NFL in rookie catches and yards. He was productive.
But they were forced. They only played him that way because they were forced to play him.
He showed some things in that game.
If it weren't for injuries, he would not have played the way that.
The only receiver that had more catches and yards was Puka Nacua. That's the only receiver. And you know what? Puka was the 5th-round selection of the Rams. You know why? It's what happens when you get more than one wide receiver, right? Like Juwan Jennings, everybody wants from Frisco. That was a 7th-round pick. This is what happens when you draft more than one receiver and you just bank everything on them that they're going to be good. You throw other darts. I'll say this too. Xavier Worthy, he had 59 catches as a rookie. Now, I know typically you're looking at production from Reid, but it's a late first-round pick. Ended up having 59 catches for the Chiefs' his rookie year. He had to grow up. He had to play, because when Hollywood Brown's out the first preseason game against Jacksonville, and then Rashee Rice got hurt that year in the 4th game against the Chargers, and he was gone, right? He had to step up. Like, it was going to be a perfect situation for Xavier Worthy, right? Coming to the Chiefs, you kind of see what Rashee Rice is doing. You have Hollywood Brown, who's essentially the same type of guy that Xavier Worthy is, and all of a sudden everybody's out, and all of a sudden you're relying on Xavier Worthy, who wasn't great in the beginning. He got better. I think he got better the second half of his rookie season, even than he was last year. And we don't know what kind of injuries he was dealing with last year, but they had to go that direction. And I'll say this: the Chiefs sure as hell made a good pick getting Worthy instead of Keon Coleman.
Oh, 100%. But again, they were forced to play him, right? And maybe I thought, between Rice and Worthy, they maybe that would change their view on their rookies. But then you look back at last year. Royals didn't even see the field, along with the rest of the rookies not making an impact. I mean, that was part of their problem last year, was the rookies not having an impact at all on the game.
That's why I hope a new wide receiver coach helps that, because Connor Embry certainly didn't get these guys ready to play.
That's part of a multitude of different problems.
He didn't have the track record. At least O'Shea comes in here with the track record of rings.
But we don't know.
Patriots.
Again, he's from outside coming in, so we don't know what his track record is. I don't know. I'm not that in depth with it to know how he coaches his receivers, but track records would say, and history would dictate that Andy Reid and just the Chiefs in general don't play rookies unless they have to.
The bottom line is they've made some good picks. I mean, clearly, Creed Humphrey's the highest paid center in the league, 2nd-round pick. Trey Smith's highest paid guard in the league.
Resources, a lot of money, man.
He's a 6th-round pick.
On that line.
I know. They've spent a lot in Kingsley. Luckily, he looked really good at left guard. Not really good, but he could play him there. And he needed to work out, because that was a 2nd-round pick for the Chiefs, was Kingsley, and that was going to be your left tackle. That didn't work out. So then they get Josh Simmons the next year. So that's a 1st and a 2nd you've spent on bulking up your offensive line. You need them to work out.
Well, and Jalen Moore, right?
And you bring in Jalen Moore,
potential right tackle, who you signed, and basically he sat on the bench.
Well, they
for
weren't
the majority of the
expecting.
year.
They weren't expecting to get
But
Simmons.
he was an expensive bench player. Is my point.
No, they were, but they weren't expecting. I don't think to get Simmons in that situation, and they weren't expecting him to get ready for.
It was
the
a good
season
backup plan. I'm not going to complain about that.
No, it was, and they had to do it. And you look at this line, and there's still some holes on it. The interior part of it's good. Like I like Creed a lot. Like Trey Smith, they're good. The tackle situation is vulnerable at this point because they got to play. Now, Simmons has the talent. He has the talent to be, I think he can be the best offensive lineman they have, but you got to play every game.
Can we agree that they don't need to touch offensive line in the first 3 rounds, right? At least 3-4 rounds.
Look at their linemen.
Right.
Look at their linemen. They're outside, first round pick with Simmons.
They
Kingsley's not, Creed's not, Trey Smith's not. I mean, Jawan Taylor.
He gone.
Yeah,
he gone.
That's a savings of $20 million right there. But you look at first round picks on this offensive line because Jawan Taylor was picked 35th overall, so he's second round pick. So essentially, you have one first round pick on that offensive line. The Chiefs had very few number one picks on offense. I mean, before Simmons got here and everything, it was Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown was a first-round pick, so that counts when he's healthy. But there's not a ton of first-round picks on the Kansas City Chiefs offense. That's one of the areas that Mahomes made everybody better than what they have been in the past. Emmitt Smith, I mentioned Emmitt Smith. He said something really I think it was great when he's talking about quarterbacks. I think it goes a lot into the draft and what you should expect for your quarterback. And it may make your argument if you disagree with some of the things I'm saying about the quality of offense and you can win with lesser players. Well, listen to Emmitt because maybe they can. We'll discuss that next.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
Hi, I'm Lexi, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where we're all about you. Your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. We'll take total care of you. First, come browse all the beautiful settings in our cases. Take your time and try on as many as you want. You'll know when you put your ring on. Your heart will skip a beat. Now, onto your center stone. We can look at different diamond shapes and sizes until we find the perfect match. Come visit us in store, because a friend wants you to get exactly what you want. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Fast breaks, buzzer beaters, and block parties are back, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all of the action. Right now, you can make entries and win money in Missouri, and playing on Underdog is easy. Just choose whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like points, rebounds, steals, and more. Get your entries right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. I love the Underdog app because it allows me to play with multiple sports, selections from different sports into one entry to see what I can do. So do yourself a favor now and download the app today and use the promo code BOB to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5 with promo code BOB. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 and over and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
Hey guys, this is Rob Brennan from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the upcoming World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And I'm Scott Parks from Daniel Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC features the biggest names who helped make the World Cup in Kansas City possible. And there was a lot of work, plus the major storylines heading into this summer's tournament.
This is so much more. This isn't just a podcast about soccer.
No, you're right, Rob. It's a podcast about Kansas City, for Kansas City, telling the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes drop every Wednesday starting on March 4th, along with video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ social channels.
So make sure you subscribe. Download Beyond the Pitch KC with Rob Brennan and myself, Scott Parks, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You already listen to 96.5 The Fan, but are you following us? Our Instagram is loaded with show clips, breaking news, mock drafts, and content you can't get on the air, like Thy Royal Decree and Chiefs Take Tuesday. Go to Instagram, search for The Fan 965, and hit that follow button. If you don't do this immediately, Dusty has threatened to do a photo shoot in a bathing suit. Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back, Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez. Julio, I just saw a mock draft. I was like, all right, I like it. Mekhi Littman was in it. Gabe Jackas was in it. I was like, Katron Allen was in it. I was like, all right, I kind of like what they're thinking. It was a Saints mock. It was a Saints mock. I was like, okay, well, it's good stuff regardless.
For the Saints, it is.
I have seen a couple people send me some mock drafts, and they didn't have one receiver, not one, going to Chiefs. It's like, well, who the hell's going to catch the football? And who are you going to pay to do it? And how much money do you have to go pay someone to do it? I just see there's always a lot of negativity, though. You have a year where you have 6 wins. The sky's falling. It's the worst thing ever. Like I said, Julio, when you and I first started working together, which is at least a decade ago.
Long time ago, that's correct.
And everybody sucked. And obviously, 2012 Chiefs sucked. They had first pick in the draft. They were terrible. Andy Reid comes in 2013, changed the direction the team was going. But don't forget, 22 years without winning a playoff game. Then you finally won one in 15 when Alex Smith beat Houston. Then you got bombed by the Patriots the following week. It wasn't good. And the Buffalo Bills are going through the same thing. They went 17 years without even making the playoffs, kind of before McDermott and turning things around in Buffalo. But I think a lot of people, forget the success they've had, and they don't give them a break considering where they were drafting at the end of the first round, the end of every round. That you've been to 5 of the last 7 Super Bowls. You've got 3 rings. Mahomes is 3 times Super Bowl MVP. It's like we forget that. Don't forget, this team won 1 playoff game in 22 years. They go from 94 to 2016, that 15 season, 16 play, without winning a playoff game. And since a young man from Texas Tech named Patrick Mahomes came to town, he's won 17. That's right. You heard me right. 17 postseason games. For a team that went 22 years with what I won, they know what they're doing, and they're eventually going to have a fall down year where things don't work in the right direction. That we'd like to see him go in different directions. I'll be honest with you, this O'Shea that's coming as wide receiver coach, honestly, I mean, again, it's hard to argue with success because they've had success. I would have called up Hines Ward. Hines Ward sitting there at Arizona State as wide receiver coach. Said, hey, Hines, what do you want to do? These guys will respect you. You played in the league. Hey, come here. I mean, certain things I would have done. Yeah. And they did it with DeMarco Murray because he's played in the NFL. And he was a good running back, and these guys have probably heard of him. And so they have done that because they did that with their running backs coach. I just wish they would have done it with wide receiver and Hines Ward.
I like O'Shea. I mean, from what ex-players have said, I mean, they really loved him, and they say he knows his stuff and he can develop wide receivers.
But his age and stuff, he's
an
fine
adult
what they did
in the room, which is what they needed.
And that'll be his position.
A veteran adult.
This is what he'll be.
Yes.
I wouldn't look for head coach in the future and things like this. He's pigeonholed, which is fine. And it may work out just fine. Who's to argue with the success they've had? Yeah. But I still like Hines. I would have run Hines.
And I will say to your point in which we're kind of being spoiled brats here, I think the bigger rub for last year is it was just so predictable. It was the way that this record happened. It was predictable. Everyone and their mom knew what the issues were, and it was almost like they refused to fix some of these issues, right?
It's like they were on house money, right?
Yes.
It's like their house on money. They were just going to keep riding it until the wheels fell off.
Yeah, like
that old car, you're going to keep rolling it till the wheels fall off.
Like they knew they were bad. They knew the things they were doing wrong, but either they were doing it on purpose and not trying to fix it because they were tanking, or it's because they were hard-headed and just refused to make adjustments, the adjustments that were obvious that should have been made.
I mean, it was a woulda, coulda, shoulda season. And you can't do that in football because all games are closed. The Chargers game, when they lost 27-21, there was plenty of opportunities to win that game. You lose 20-17 to Philly. That's the game where Kelsey had that football bounce off his hands and go into the Philadelphia arms for an interception. Should have won that game.
But those are things that are acceptable. It's the things like losing with penalties. It's like the
Dallas game?
The refusal to, again, the RPO situation with just refusing to run the ball or refusing to address the running back's room coming into the season that everyone knew was going to be an issue and was an issue.
And here's the thing. They never got their ass kicked.
No.
Unless the Lottekin started. But the Mahomes, they didn't get rolled, man. They would lose by a field goal here, bad play here that could come back. They didn't get beat bad when Mahomes was there. He kept them right in it. With all that less talent, he kept them in the game.
Sometimes that's not a good thing, though.
They went their way 2 years ago. It went their way.
All of it went there. Yeah,
it did not go their way.
The pendulum swinging back. It was.
It did not go their way whatsoever. But, yeah, I get it. There's more, about Reed and rookie receivers. I get it. Deshaun Jackson, he was a second-round pick in Philadelphia with Andy Reid. But he had 912 yards his rookie year, and that was in 15 starts. That's when the season was 16 games rather than 17. So there's a chance he could have been a 1,000-yard receiver? Yeah. There's a very good chance he could have been a 1,000-yard receiver. Deshaun Jackson. But he got that opportunity in Philadelphia.
But he's an anomaly.
He is. There's anomalies all over the place, but it's kind of like, this is who they are and where they are. I've just come to accept it because, and again, whenever you discuss it with Chris, it's like, but here's the thing. They've had success. They've had success. So it's as much as you want to say, hey, go out and get Hines Ward. DeMarco's fine. Just go out and get these guys to, to be the future that want to be elevated to an offensive coordinator like a Shieldhouse. Get somebody like that can be elevated offensive coordinator, maybe be a head coach in his future. That's just not the way they do it, but it's hard to argue with success. But you can't have 2 years like this one.
No.
You can't have 2 years in a row like this, or you're going to be on the outside looking in because the NFL doesn't wait for you anymore.
Correct.
They want success, and they want it now. And you do 2 bad years in a row like that, and the conversation changes. You get a free pass, so to speak, when you've had success for 1 year. Fair or not fair, you get 1 year.
That, especially when you have a quarterback, again, like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
You can't waste it.
No, you can't waste it whatsoever. But, they've had success, and it's what you do. I always bring up people with Brett Veach when they want to discuss the GM. And I said there's other things besides the draft. That's the most important, but player contracts, making good trades, which they've done, grabbing players off practice squads to put on your roster, like the guy named Harrison Butker, who was on the Panthers practice squad. The first move Veach did as GM. Cairo got hurt. He grabs Harrison Butker off the practice squad of the Carolina Panthers. And you probably don't have 3 rings without him.
Yeah, but that contract is hurting now.
I get it.
And you're stuck with him. Yeah,
I get it.
There's no moving away.
But it's a hell of a move.
Yeah. Did they need to give him that contract though? I don't know that they needed to, Bink, but no going back at this point.
It's what you want your GM to do is make good moves. Orlando Brown, Nick Bolton, basically for nothing for the Ravens. I mean, they needed a left tackle. They got one. They needed a pick 58 to be Nick Bolton. They got him. It's a good trade. But you got to make good moves. But you got to keep doing it. That's the NFL, man. You can't just look at 1 or 2 moves that worked out.
What have you done for me lately?
You got to constantly do it. And picking 9th, it's going to be high scrutiny. It's going to be high scrutiny whatever direction they go. If they go wide receiver, if they go defensive end, if they go defensive tackle, if they go whichever direction, it's going to be highly scrutinized. I went Mekhi Lemon. I still like Mekhi Lemon. And the reason is he plays
down for that.
He plays bigger than he is. I know he's listed at 5'11", and you think, well, because I do want the Chiefs to get 6'3" and 6'4" receivers. I think that's important. But he plays bigger, and some guys do. Tyreek Hill always played bigger than he was. He played taller than he was. MVS played shorter than he was. MVS was 6'4".
He played like he's 5'6".
And he's 6'4".
Yeah.
And he played
Correct.
much smaller. But I do like a receiver that has 3 drops in his last 175 targets. I like that. Because the most frustrating thing is when they have a first down and they drop it.
Sure hands.
The most frustrating thing is when they're against man coverage, which is risky for teams to do because if you're beat, you're screwed. But the Chiefs weren't beating it. And they weren't beating man. And a Mekhi Lemon, nasty player. He could do it. So, I don't know. I didn't get to Emmett. I'll get to him next. Get to Emmett next about Patrick Mahomes. We'll do that when we come back.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Are you in need of top-quality metal for your next project? Look no further than Metal by the Foot. Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. The Foot. Blue Demon Welding Supplies, filler rods, and wire. The Foot. Fronius Professional Welding Equipment Service and Repairs. The Foot. Located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible. Plus, the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself and Rob Bretton on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
And welcome back, Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez. Text line asking me if that was a Dorsey move for Butker. It was not. He was let go in June of 2017. Butker was signed on September 26th of 2017 as a Brett Veach move. He was elevated to GM July 10th of that year. It was right after Mahomes was drafted. It was right after Mahomes was drafted. He was drafted by Dorsey, but then Veach took over as a GM that summer. So Dorsey never got to have a full year with Patrick Mahomes, just a couple of months.
Hey, Dorsey, while he may not have had the cap issue under his belt, he was a hell of a drafter, man. He's a
great personnel guy.
Yeah.
The contracts was his sticking point. The contracts with John.
It's important.
But I'm still not giving him credit for Mahomes or Veach credit for Mahomes. I give one guy credit for Mahomes. That's Andy Reid.
That's yourself?
No.
No,
I'm just saying.
You called it.
They weren't taking a quarterback unless Andy Reid picked said quarterback. So I imagine Andy Reid was really, really big in those conversations of which quarterback to get. I have a feeling Andy Reid is the end-all, be-all what chose Patrick Mahomes.
Bink, like you alluded to earlier.
They're not going to take a quarterback he didn't want.
He overheard your mock draft and where you had mocked him, and he was like, this guy know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah.
Let's go with Mahomes,
And
so
that whole night sitting here going, he didn't win at Texas Tech. He didn't win with Kingsbury. He didn't win at all. And yeah, but he had to score a touchdown every time he was on the field. Dude had to throw it and scored points every time he was out there. They kind of need somebody like that. But anyway, Emmett discussed elite quarterbacks, and I loved what he had to say. And yeah, this could be the argument against what I'm saying, or it could be the argument for what I'm saying. It depends on how you value elite quarterbacks.
Well, I also think you're seeing it a little more. I mean, this year it's not like the elite quarterbacks all made the Final Four.
Say that again.
It's not like the elite quarterbacks made the Super Bowl
Say it again.
or the Final Four.
It's not like the who?
Emmett, the elite quarterbacks are at home.
Name the elite quarterbacks you talking about that are at home.
Patrick Mahomes is at home.
Nah, that's elite.
Lamar Jackson's at home. Josh Allen. Joe Burrow.
Oh, it's only one elite quarterback then. It's only one elite quarterback you're talking about. So you see what I'm saying? That's the power of marketing. There's only one elite quarterback that you just mentioned out of the four quarterbacks that you just talked about. Patrick Mahomes.
The other guys aren't elite?
Hell no.
Okay.
They're not elite.
Explain that, Emmett. That's a bit of a controversial take.
Why is that a controversial take?
Well,
what makes the other three elite versus him? I'm gonna let you want to answer your own question.
Sure.
What makes the other three elite?
So I think an elite player props open a championship window wherever he goes. Those four quarterbacks, whether they're in Baltimore or they're in Miami or they're on Mars, they can get their team into a championship mix unless there's extenuating circumstances. That is what I believe to be elite quarterbacks. Those are the four guys to me.
That's what you believe?
That's what I believe to be elite. You do not believe that?
No, I don't believe that.
Okay, explain why Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow not elite in your book.
First and foremost, Josh Allen had a chance to get his Buffalo Bills to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You saw how he played. Elite quarterbacks rise up in extreme circumstances and leads his squad. He puts them on his back and he carries them to where they need to go. Elite quarterbacks show up when others are not showing up. Elite players show up when others don't show up. Elite players define the game. The game don't define who they are. And so when I look at Patrick Mahomes, I see an elite quarterback that learned how to overcome extreme circumstances. These others are learning how to become an elite quarterback.
Good stuff there from Emmett, right? He certainly likes Patrick Mahomes, doesn't he? That's what happens when you get that three-ring club. Yeah, I do agree with him. And I think for the most part, he's elevated the talent around him. Certainly he's done that. Now, Peyton Manning did that with certain guys like Brandon Stokely, guys like that, Dallas Clark, he did it. But he also had Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison. I mean, he had different weapons to throw to. But certain guys did. Tom Brady elevated, talent around him, was always the best because he never won a ring when he had Randy Moss and Wes Welker. Like those guys did everything for him, never doing it, but did with guys like Julian Edelman. Former quarterback at Kent State, turned wide receiver. He made him a stud. And certain guys do it. The gamers do it. I'm just saying, make their lives easier. I mean, he's 30 years old now. It's time. It's time. He's done everything he could with what he could. It's time to give him some game changers.
I think there was two different conversations going on there. I think when you're talking the elite of the elite, right? We're talking throughout NFL history, who are the elite quarterbacks? No, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, and they aren't in the same conversation as a Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. But when you're talking about this era of football, they are the elite of the elite quarterbacks over the last 5, 7, 8 years. They are the elites of the elites at their position right now in this era.
Sure. And, fumbling the ball at the end of a half to give the
I'm
Denver
not saying they
Broncos a
didn't
field
choke.
goal. I mean, those are things that you don't expect guys to do. Now, I will say this, though. He was trying to do too much. Again, that offense, they've got James Cook, which is better than what the Chiefs have, but he made the most of what he had. 2 years ago, Buffalo Bills averaged 30 points a game. Like that was a pretty incredible offense, what they did. Considering the weapons they had to score 30 points a game, that was good stuff. But elite is what you do in the postseason.
But isn't
the regular season doesn't matter.
You can also, if we're talking about Josh Allen here, you can also lay some of the blame on Joe Brady and
Their
Sean
new head
McDermott
coach?
for not helping. You know that's
100%.
Josh Allen's tendencies. Why not save him from himself and give James Cook the damn ball?
I'd blame Brandon Beane.
Why aren't you like?
When he decided to get a first-round weapon, he gets Keon Coleman, which actually in the second round.
Yes, and I'm by no means letting Josh Allen up though, because he choked. Plain and simple, he choked. But that's what I think makes elite coaches different than a Sean McDermott from an Andy Reid. You say if you need to save the player from himself, you do that. You had the leading rusher. Why are you not giving the ball?
And this will be
At the end of the
interesting
game.
when you look at it, because Lamar, new head
I
coach, can he
don't-
still be elite status, even though he had never gone to a
He's
Super Bowl?
fallen off for me, man.
Yeah.
He's fallen off. For
Joe
me.
Burrow at least has been the one, and clearly, you look at the talent around him with Jamar Chase and everything
Agreed.
else. They have got a great offense. They just got to worry about the defense.
terrible
They got to
defense.
be a complete team because they're not, and do that. But you like him as a quarterback going forward. Drake May was wanting to be in that conversation and could have been in that conversation, but I think there's a lot still out there with Drake May. Hey, he was accurate this year, right? But keep in mind, that dude almost got MVP. He was that close, one vote away from winning MVP. He had 7 fumbles and 4 interceptions in the postseason when you're supposed to shine. And I know that you vote on it before, but man, that would have been bad.
Wouldn't that have been some egg on those voters' faces
Oh, it
had
would
he
have been.
won? Right? Oh,
Well,
my gosh.
I don't know how important it is, but he's got one 300-yard passing game in his career. That's it. Like, this guy almost won MVP and has one 300-yard passing game. That's it.
I mean, when you're looking strictly at numbers, for me, I don't even know how it was really that close. Matt Stafford was head above. He was heads above.
I think the right guy got it.
Yeah,
I think the right guy got it.
I don't think it was even close.
I think the right
honestly.
guy won MVP.
Yeah.
And he's got a ring. Not that Drake hadn't had a
deserves
chance
it.
to do it, but
He
I'll give him
deserved it.
credit for getting the team where he is. But we'll see what happens when the schedule flips. When all of a sudden you got to play that road game instead of a home game against teams in your division. When those two, extraneous games against teams not in your division, you're playing the best of the best, not the worst of the best, not the worst like you were this year. Again, I'll go back to it. Said it before the Super Bowl. The wildest game to me was Week 1. When we overvalue Week 1 in the NFL, we totally overvalue it. Like, I've never seen anything like it. The Raiders go to New England and win.
Right?
The team picking first on the clock won a road game at New England, the team that was in the Super Bowl. That's insane. I'll have to look. Has that ever happened? When a team picking
Look that
first,
up, but man,
when a team picking first won the first game of the year on the road in the home place, the home field of the team that went to the Super Bowl,
that couldn't have happened very many times.
they started 1-2. They just turned things around. I think that Buffalo game when they went to Buffalo was like, all right, this team could play.
Yeah.
Now, offensively, things went downhill for them in the postseason. Like, they did not carry over.
Oh, you mean when they played good teams?
No, the Seahawks, they just did their deal. And they're going to be a viable team for a long time. If they bring Kenneth Walker back. And here's the one
That
thing.
team's built right.
Here's the one thing about bringing back free agents, because you mentioned Trey Smith. Like, they didn't pay him until that money was raised for the salary cap, because it was going to go up to $279. Chiefs were expecting about $270. It went to $279. Boom, they get the deal done really quick on Trey Smith. They got it done real quick when that happened. You're able to pay Trey Smith. That deal was done. Those deals are done real quick. This year, it's going up to about $303 million from $279. That's insane. The salary cap is going up crazily. Do you know what the salary cap was like 5 years ago?
I have no idea.
Let's see. 2021. What was it? It was
Like 150. 150, 175.
It's going to be around 304 this year. It was 279.2 last year. 255 just in 24.
Yeah.
In 2021, it was 182.5.
Ooh, I thought I was going to be way off. Okay, never mind.
182.5 in 2021. 2026, 303.450. This is what happens.
NFL prints money. That's what happens.
This is what happens when you pawn off all your games to YouTube.
You sell your soul to
and Peacocks.
Yep, Amazon. Yeah, that's what happens when you sell your soul. And you add an extra game in there. You know.
And this year there's going to be 4 games they have to find streamers for.
Yeah, wait till the 18th game.
Or I guess CBS and NBC and stuff can step up for it, but it's probably going to be a streaming company doing it.
I hate it, Bink.
So you better hope the Chiefs are in it if you don't want to buy that stuff
hate it.
because they'll have them on over the air. But if it's not the Chiefs, then you need to get it. You'll need to get the Peacocks of the world. And ESPN has a Super Bowl next year. I think it'll still be ABC though. I hope.
I hope they just leave this stuff on regular TV for at least for local broadcasts.
It's moving back a week. Super Bowl's on Valentine's Day.
I thought that was a smart move.
That's awesome.
They should have done that.
It's awesome. Sorry, babe. It's Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, not all of us have that excuse.
We can't do all that love stuff. We got Super Bowl to watch.
If you say so.
But anyway, this salary cap's really jumping for that. 913-586-7965, the Jay Southland Tow Service text line. I'll address a few Chiefs questions when we come back to round out the show.
You're listening to After Hours, brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Listen up. It's 2026, and this is going to be your best year yet when it comes to sex. You know why? Because you're finally going to take the advice and try the chewable tablets from Blue Chew. Blue Chew's tablets help you feel and perform at your best, and their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient for your prescription. Be more confident where it counts. Blue Chew is a small chew for a big difference because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. You know, just like the athletes that we love to root on for every single day of the week, these athletes have to be able to show up when it matters during the game's most exciting moments. You need to show up during life's most exciting moments. Be ready when she is. It's not just about performance. Give your partner something to brag to their friends about, because nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use the promo code KFNZ at checkout. You just cover $5 for shipping. That's promo code KFNZ. Just cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
I hope you are sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and is 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you're a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone. 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
Last month, my business cash flow got tight. Sales were slow, invoices were late, and payroll was coming fast. My business is everything, and people rely on me. I can't let them down. I applied online at lenseek.com and had business funding in 24 hours.
Business moves fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Whether it's lines of credit, term loans, working capital funding, or revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply now at LENDSEEK.com.
Febreze. New Febreze Air Mist has 50% more odor fighters and up to 30% more fragrance than the old formula. So now you can take on 100% more stinky odors, like sweaty gym bags, greasy cooking smells, and the after effects of the dog rolling around in something. Just spray, and new Febreze Air instantly restores just clean freshness. Smell you later, odor.
Breathe happy Febreze, la 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 la.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome back. Jay Binkley, Julio Sanchez, 913-586-7965. Some Ruben Bain love. Again, that's fine. I'm curious to see how he plays. I think he's going to be moved more to the interior in the National Football League instead of sitting on the edge. There's one guy in the Miami Hurricanes I would take on that defense, though. His name is Jacoby Thomas. And it's probably not a household name because he wasn't showing up on a lot of charts, like 7th rounder, maybe undrafted. But he's filtering his way down. This is a guy that I would take as safety for the Chiefs, which they obviously need safety help. I know Caleb Downs, the best. I think he's the best player there. It's not what they need in the first round, but Caleb Downs a stud. But Jacoby Thomas, he was the one that bloodied Mendoza's face in the national title game. He had 6 passes defended, 3.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 5 interceptions, 7th in the nation in picks as a safety. That guy, I think you can get him in the 5th round, Jacoby Thomas. He'll be at the combine coming up, but you're sitting there. What screams Chiefs more than Jacoby Thomas? I mean, 3.5 sacks from the safety position, 5 picks, 2 forced fumbles, 6 passes defended. Yeah, Jacoby Thomas. As far as Miami Hurricanes on that from the defense, that would actually be a really nice fit for what the Chiefs do. And I think Jacoby Thomas would be a perfect guy for Steve Spagnuolo and what he's doing. Yeah, Bain's fine. Messidor, I like Messidor too. Akeem Messidor had a hell of a season. He actually led the Miami Hurricanes in sacks on the opposite side of Ruben Bain, Akeem Messidor, and he'll be back in the first round as well. But Jacoby's definitely a guy I like. And that's what's going to take for GMs. Can you get those diamonds in the rough, in the mid rounds? Because they're going to have to make all their picks work. We're not picking in the last round, the second last round. They'll make a way. They'll find a way to get more picks. Hopefully they do for 27, because that's the one you need to load up on is getting those. And Pittsburgh, they're in a weird situation because this was going to be the year for them to draft a quarterback because they got 12 picks. They have the draft in Pittsburgh. They're expecting over 700,000 people. This would have been the time to get that guy.
Yeah, but they
not
also
going to get
overachieved. So it's probably might be a good thing because they overachieved this year. They can suck now in 26. And
it's just too bad there's not more first-round quarterbacks for the Steelers because when you're picking with 12 picks at home, you move, things don't always work out your way.
They could still pick, still draft a quarterback. Just might not be a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, they might have to get a different guy and just hope he works out.
You go the Kenny Pickett route again.
Oh God, no.
No, don't do it for you.
Remember when Kenny Pickett was the only first-round quarterback in that draft?
Gosh, yeah.
Receivers, I don't know. I think you could see maybe 4 go in the first round. Teams might overreach for them. 7's the record. 04 in 2024, you had 7 receivers taken. Can they make a run on it this year? Well, I don't think they'll get 7.
Probably not.
Thinking more like 4.
Yeah.
Could be 5. It depends on. There's a couple receivers that aren't in that first group that I love, like Denzel Boston, Chris Brazzell at Tennessee. Those guys are probably first-round picks, but Casey Concepcion from A&M, there's some studs out there. And you get a second, third round, unless Kevin Coleman for some reason goes later than expected. But that guy's a stud at Missouri. Anyway, it's going to be fun. Good talking to you all tonight. I'll be with Alex Gold tomorrow at 10 o'clock. I'm sure we'll talk more draft then. Thanks, Julio. Always appreciate it. You with some baseball, then moving into some football. So good stuff by you always. Good night, everybody.
You're listening to After Hours Brought to you by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Hi, I'm Brian, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, and we've partnered with Cupid to bring you